Hi, I'm Kim Hutchins, and I'm so excited to be here today with CEO Mark Tulloch, and we're going to talk about all the changes that have been happening here in the company. Mark, welcome.
Thank you very much, Kim. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I love it. I love when we get to sit down and talk about Tulloch and what's happening, and there's been a lot of changes in the leadership.
Absolutely, there has been, and that's been a journey for us over the last 3 years. So 3 years ago, as part of our strategic plan, we identified the need to look at some transition planning, and so we've been busy for the last 3 years getting ourselves in a position to see this come to fruition.
Yeah, so not a surprise at all.
No,
yes.
no.
Yeah, and as you've been developing this plan, what are some of the qualities that you look for as leaders coming into these new positions?
Yeah, great question. And there's one specific quality that I look for more than any other, and that's for our young leaders to be humble. I think the combination of being humble yet confident is very powerful, and so that's what I look for more than any other characteristic in a leader.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you find is one of the most rewarding things about being CEO of Tulloch?
There's lots. I mean, there's lots that's very rewarding. I do very much consider this job a privilege. But what is most rewarding is the conversations that I have with staff day in and day out. Whether that's here in Huntsville, where at my home office, or as I travel around to all of our other offices. I just love interacting with people. We have so many fantastic, great people in the organization, and just understanding where they're at and getting a few minutes with each one of them. That's the most rewarding part of the job for me.
Yeah, and so what do you think the next decade will look like in the future of Tulloch?
I honestly have no idea what the next 10 years will bring. But whatever it brings, we'll tackle it together.
Yeah.
And I am very optimistic at where we're heading as an organization. Most years when I look back, we've just gone through 2024. When I look back at 2024 or even previous years, I'm blown away with where we were and where we've come, which is a testament to our group and to our staff. And so I have no idea what the next 10 years are going to bring, but I'm quite confident that we're up for the challenge, whatever come what may.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that you love to do is mentorship. So let's talk a little bit about that. What does that look like as you mentor new leaders coming in? Yeah,
great question. So I think there's probably a couple different responses to that. The first is we do have a formal mentoring process especially for our articling students or land surveyors in training, and that's something that our young professionals jump on a virtual call every 2 weeks with some senior surveyors in the organization. And that's a time for them to bring a tricky challenge or a tricky problem and get some advice, guidance, not to get the problem solved, but to learn from more senior folks about how they would approach the problem. And so, I mean, we have that kind of formal mentorship that takes place, but where I love is kind of the informal, ad hoc, on the fly mentorship as well. And often that's just creating conversations with our up and coming leaders, sitting down with them for coffee, and at times sending them an encouraging email, telling them how great a job they are, or a handwritten note. A handwritten note goes so far.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so that's the part of the mentorship that I enjoy the most.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, that handwritten note, that is a huge thing. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is impactful. Yeah. And I love that Tulloch does that and sets you apart.
100%.
Right? Yeah. Now, this is a two-part question.
Okay.
But what is one piece of advice that you've gotten over the years that's encouraged you in your leadership journey, and something that will encourage new leaders coming in, or those who want to be a leader in the future? What would you tell them?
Yeah. So, it'd be the same piece of advice.
Yeah.
And I got this from one of my mentors years ago. Her name is Ann Cole. And she would tell me all the time, Mark, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
And when I look back, there's probably lots of times where I was rushing through a situation or rushing through a challenge, just trying to get on to the next task. And that's the piece of advice I needed early in my career. And that's the same piece of advice I give to others, leaders that are early on in their career. Slow down, enjoy where you're at, embrace whatever challenge you're dealing with right now. Don't rush ahead or look ahead. Soak up whatever you can in the moment, and just slow down and enjoy where you're at.
Yeah, no, that's a great piece of advice. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. And what is one thing that you would like others to know about Tulloch as a company?
If people are not familiar with us as an organization, probably the one thing that I want people to know is the caring nature that we have that's inherent in our organization. That's our purpose. We call her a why statement, but that's our purpose, is to create that caring and supportive environment. And most days I think we actually pull that off. There's always room for improvement, but that's what I'm very proud about this organization, is our caring nature as an organization.
That's great. Well, Mark, thanks so much for sitting down with me. That was so good.
You're very welcome, Kim, anytime.
Yeah.